الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ولا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. Dear brothers and sisters, auditors of CII Radio, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Ben Halim Abdurrauf for our second episode of Living on Qur'an. And now we're going to start a big subject, inshallah, about Surah Al-Baqara. And we're going to start, inshallah, one first aspect of Surah Al-Baqara. We're going to start that in Surah Al-Baqara there are 5 stories where Allah Ta'ala brings people back to life. 5 stories in this single Surah Al-Baqara of reviving the death. We're going to start by this, inshallah, because that will help us through understanding the rest of the surah. So the first story of this is the story of Baqarah, of the cow. What is the story of the cow? There was a pious man in Banu Israel, and he had a cow, and Allah Ta'ala revealed to him that you must keep this cow and take care of it and not make it work, and take good care of it, and one day your son will sell it for the price of its skin full of gold. And the pious man took care of the cow and he passed away. His son was taking care of the cow. And what happened in the sons of Israel, in the Banu Israel? One person was killed and they did not know who killed him. So they came to Musa alayhi salam and said, Ud'u lana rabbaka, and they said, ask your Lord to show us who killed this man. And Musa alayhi salam told them, Inna Allah ya'murukum an tadhbahu baqara. Allah gives you the order to slaughter a cow. So they said, Atattakhiduna huzua, are you making fun of us? We are asking you who killed this man. You are telling us to slaughter a cow. So what relation between these two things? Just tell us who killed that man. Why slaughter a cow? Are you making fun of us? And this shows us, this, dear brothers and sisters, how Banu Israel were behaving with their prophets. And this is very bad behavior. And how can you say such things? Look, it's just as you're discussing with a friend of yours and you say, no, you're kidding me. What are you saying? This is rubbish. Subhanallah. So Musa alayhi salam told them, قال أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين. May Allah protect me to be in ignorance. I'm not here to make fun of you and to make jokes with you. I'm your prophet to show you what Allah is asking you to do. I am here to show you the way to paradise and to keep you away from being astray. You shouldn't. How can you tell me that I'm kidding you and making jokes on you? So they said, okay, which cow does Allah Ta'ala ask Allah to show us which cow He wants us to slaughter? And this is the second mistake. Instead of executing, do you need to tell Allah to show you what He wants? Allah has given you an order, just apply it. You don't need to tell Him what He should tell you. Subhanallah. Does Allah Ta'ala does not know what He wants until you should tell Him that show me this and show me that? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Anyway, Musa alayhi salam told them that Allah tells you, إنها بقرة لا فارض ولا بكر عوان بين ذلك فافعلوا ما تؤمرون. It is a cow that's not old, finished, and that's not just young, that's bikr, that has, it must be a cow that has given birth already and a cow that is giving milk. So it's not too young, she's not too young and she's not too old. A cow that is average age and that is still giving milk. So, and Musa alayhi salam told them, فَفْعَلُوا مَا تُؤْمَرُونَ. Do what you are ordered to do. Go ahead and do it. And stop asking questions. And don't get it more complicated. So this first condition Musa alayhi salam gave them was a very simple condition. Very simple. Just a middle-aged cow that is giving milk and that's not too old. So they came back and said, Ud'u lana rabbaka yubayyin lana ma lawnaha. Ask your Lord to tell us what is its color. Subhanallah. Why? So they're asking what is the color. And now Allah Ta'ala said, إِنَّهُ يَقُولُ إِنَّهَا بَقَرَةٌ صَفْرَاءُ فَاقِعٌ لَوْنُهَا تَسُرُّ النَّاظِرِينَ. The cow is yellow, bright yellow, and she's very good looking. Oh yes, it is a pleasure to look at her. So this second condition is more difficult. Now they searched and they got a few cows that are yellow and that are middle age. And they came back to Musa alayhi salam and said, really, you must ask Allah to show us which cow is it, because there are many cows, we don't know which one Allah wants us to slaughter. وَإِنَّا إِنشَاءَ اللَّهُ لَمُهْتَدُونَ. And they said, inshallah, we will manage to do it. And the ulama said that Allah has saved them because they said inshallah. But this third condition was even more difficult, and Musa alayhi salam told them that Allah is asking you, إِنَّهَا بَقَرَةٌ لَا ذَلُولٌ تُثِيرُ الْأَرْضَ وَلَا تَسْقِي الْحَرْث. She's not humiliated, she's not working the land, she's not used to work the land and to work the crops. مُسَلَّمَةٌ لَا شِيَةَ فِيهَا. She's completely yellow, she does not have any bit of red or black or any other color. So now they looked, and this became very problematic. And the only cow that corresponded to this definition was the cow of that salih person, of that pious person. And they came and they said, yes, we want to buy you this cow. He said, okay, so the price for this cow will be her skin full of gold. They said, no, how? This is impossible. This is just a cow. How can it be worth so much? She said, well, that's the price. You can pay it or leave it. And they had absolutely no choice, because that was the only cow that corresponded to the definition Allah has given to them. So they had to pay that much. And when they paid that much, and when it turned out to be a very special cow, and so they said, قَالُوا الْآنَ جِئْتَ بِالْحَقِّ. They said, now you have said the truth. Subhanallah. Can you imagine? That means all you have told us since the beginning was not the truth. Now you have said the truth. Now we know it is really this cow because it is so special and it costs so much. So yes, now we have the sign of Allah that this is the cow Allah wants. And what you have told us before this is all wrong. And it is good that we did not listen to you and kill any kind of cow. But now we have reached the special cow that Allah wants. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. فَذَبَحُوهَا وَمَا كَادُوا يَفْعَلُونَ. Allah said, so they slaughtered it, but they had very much difficulty to do it. وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا. So Allah says, so you have killed a person and then you did not find who was the killer. And Allah Ta'ala told Musa alayhi salam to cut the tongue of the cow and to hit the dead person. And he rose up, he got up and he said, he killed me. And he showed his nephew that killed him to take his inheritance. And he lied back down and he was dead again, and that was finished. كَذَلِكَ يُحْيِي اللَّهُ الْمَوْتَى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. That is how Allah brings dead people back to death and shows you His signs and His power, so you will understand. So this is the first story where Allah Ta'ala brings dead person back to life. And I want to say that those who have seen this man wake up after all that effort and all the sacrifices and gathering that money and coming back and forth to Musa alayhi salam. So now the special time for the result has come, and they see that person that is dead waking up and saying, he has killed me, and coming back to death. So that shows the power of Allah Ta'ala. Imagine if you see that yourself, how much your faith will increase. You'll know the power of Allah Ta'ala. And this is why Allah is giving us these 5 examples, these 5 stories in Surah Al-Baqara, so we know that Allah Ta'ala is Almighty. Bring a dead person back to life. That is something impossible in human understanding. It's impossible for us. So if Allah Ta'ala is capable of bringing a dead person back to life, what to say about someone who's ill and looking for a cure, or someone who's poor or looking for a job, or someone who's not married looking for marriage, or looking for children, or looking for papers, or looking to get out of jail, or to solve any kind of problem. So solving all our problems is much easier for Allah Ta'ala than bringing a dead person back to life. For Allah it is all easy, but we know how impossible it is for us to bring a dead person back to life. So this is why we must trust Allah and ask Allah and follow the ways Allah Ta'ala has shown us, because Allah has given us du'as, prayers for all kinds of needs. So this is the first story. And then the second story is also with Musa alayhi salam, and I'm going to tell you inshallah the context of the story so you understand it. When Musa alayhi salam crossed the sea with the Banu Israel, and Fir'aun and his army were drowned, and died, and Banu Israel were saved. When they reached the other side, they found people worshipping idols, and they said, Ya Musa, ij'al lana ilahan kama lahum aliha. Oh Musa, give us a divinity, give us an idol that we can worship as they have. Oh, they have so beautiful idols. Oh, they're worshiping those idols. Oh, we would like to do the same. Oh, Musa, make us an idol, make us a God that we can worship, that we can touch, that we can put clothes on, we can put gold on him. Oh yes, that would be great. So Musa alayhi got so angry. قال إنكم قوم تجهلون. He said, but you are ignorance. How can you say such stupid things, such wrong thing? Musa alayhi got very angry, and Musa alayhi is known for his anger, and that is just a side point, that Rasulullah sallallahu was rarely angry, but he did get angry when he saw really wrong things. But Musa alayhi was very often angry because those Banu Israel that were with him, they were doing very, very bad and wrong things, and he had to be angry and shouting and pushing them to get them going to the right path. So some people will follow the right path just with nice words and with intelligent words and with understanding, but others you'll have to shout at them and brutalize them and push them and insult them and humiliate them. Otherwise they'll never get, they will always be going on and on in their wrong things. So Musa alayhi was angry with them. إنكم قوم تجهلون. You are ignorance. قال أغير الله أبغيكم إلها وهو فضلكم على العالمين. How can I give you another God than Allah, whereas He has favorized you, He has preferred you on all creatures, on all people, and Allah has saved you from Fir'aun. إن هؤلاء متبر ما هم فيه وباطل ما كانوا يعملون. These people worshipping idols, their religion is rubbish, their religion is nothing, all what they are doing is wrong, they're not getting any reward, they're all going to hell. And how you have just seen the sign of Allah, how Allah has saved you from Fir'aun. And okay, they let it go, they let go of that idol story. But then they went and they reached the mountain where Allah Ta'ala called Musa alayhi salam to give him the laws. So when Musa went up the mountain, they made their cow, the golden cow, and they worshipped it. So it was just a matter of waiting for Musa alayhi salam to go away, so that they did their own idol and they started worshipping it. And when Musa alayhi salam came back of the mountain after 40 days, and he was holding the stones where Allah Ta'ala has written Himself, has put in those stones the orders and the laws that they must follow. When Musa alayhi salam came and saw that situation of his people, he threw those stones. What use of the orders of Allah Ta'ala when you are worshipping someone else than Allah? What use of telling you to pray or to fast or not to do zina or not to do this and that when you are worshipping another? So he threw that away, and he came with anger. He came with anger to his people, and he shouted at them and he humiliated them, and they all accepted and made tawbah and repented to Allah Ta'ala. In this situation, Allah is showing us how Musa alayhi salam did and how Harun alayhi salam did. وَلَقَدْ قَالَ لَهُمْ هَارُونُ مِنْ قَبْلُ يَا قَوْمِ إِنَّمَا فُتِنْتُمْ بِهِ وَإِنَّ رَبَّكُمُ الرَّحْمَنُ فَاتَّبِعُونِي وَأَطِيعُوا أَمْرِي. Oh my people, this is a fitna. Allah Ta'ala has given you a test to see if your faith is strong, if you're going to hold on to Almighty Allah Ta'ala, or if you are going to fail in this test. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكُمُ الرَّحْمَنُ. And your creator, your Lord, is Allah, the so merciful. This cow you have made is not a creator, you have made it yourself, He cannot do anything for you. And Allah Ta'ala is merciful, He will forgive you. So come back to Allah, ask for His forgiveness, come back to the straight path. MashaAllah, Harun alayhi salam has spoken with full hikmah and wiseness and calm, but no one followed him. And when Musa alayhi salam came with anger, فَرَجَعَ مُوسَى إِلَى قَوْمِ غَضْبَانَ آسِفًا, he was angry but full of sorrow. He was so sorry, so suffering for his people. That is the kind of anger. It's not rejecting them and It's not rejecting them, it's by love and being so sorry that they have gone astray. Inshallah, we will continue next time. May Allah Ta'ala accept us and guide us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.